Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to be here tonight for Patrick, and I apologize for being late. I was taping a Glenn Beck show, which will be on Friday. So when you hear, I know you're all going to watch it on Friday. You watch it every night. So when Glenn Beck says, "John, I know you have to leave for an appointment," and you say, "What appointment could he have on Friday night?" It was to be here on Tuesday. But I appreciate very much the support you've shown for Patrick and by being here tonight. And as he said a moment ago, you know, with 5 weeks left, there's still a lot of work to do. So your continued support and getting your friends and neighbors out too is going to be critical. I think it's very clear that this is a winnable race. The polls show Moran does not have it anywhere close to being put away. And if we've learned anything this year, it's that there are no safe incumbents anywhere in the country.
Yes.
And I'm very glad to host this event and to do whatever I can for Patrick. I'm just delighted that Norm Coleman, my good friend, is here, the once and future senator from Minnesota. Really a great American. He's devoted a good part of his career to public service, and he still has it left in the work he's doing now. And it's a real testament to Patrick, I think, that Norm would get involved here to help out. My old friend Dave Norcross, we've been through a few wars in the Republican Party over the years. I think that the progress that Patrick has made has been demonstrated by, among other things, the fact that Election Day Tea Party now has him on one of the list of their 50 target districts around the country. I'm happy to be lending them a hand. They haven't gone to the 50 safest Republican seats to win. They are taking some opportunities, and I think this is one. You know, this seat wasn't always in Democratic hands, and in my living memory, it was a Republican seat. And the fact is, the incumbent is the very face of arrogance in power. You've heard some of the examples tonight. This is exactly the kind of candidate that elections were made for, so he can be defeated. Send shockwaves around the country if we can report on election night here in Virginia, right as the polls close early, and we can still have an impact around the country, that Moran has been defeated. So I think it's just absolutely critical that whatever we can do in the next 5 weeks in terms of talking to our neighbors and getting these issues out that Patrick has raised. You know, there is a mood in the country, there really is, that there's going to be a fundamental change. But I think all of us have an obligation that we don't just rely on our neighbors in districts where Republicans have served and lost in 2006 or 2008, that we surely will get back. But in all of those districts and at the state level where it's been a long time, I think of Senate races like Barbara Boxer and others, just to name one on the other side of the continent. But surely here in this district, this is the perfect example of an incumbent that needs to be ousted. Somebody who has never voted against an increase in federal spending or an increase in federal taxes, or has really understood what it takes to protect and defend American national security, whose personal references to his fellow American citizens have grown increasingly disdainful, really reminding me of what John Kerry said over the weekend, that, you know, the American voters are just out of touch with what's going on. It's the kind of philosophy that says, you know, when the leaders get dissatisfied, you just get a new electorate. Obviously, we're going to teach them it works in the other direction. And I think Patrick is poised for a really dramatic victory here. And when he does get to serve in the House of Representatives, will really represent the fundamental values of this district and Virginia as a whole, make a contribution to bringing down excessive federal spending, which is just way beyond anything conceivable even a few years ago, keep our taxes down, bring them down further, fight against increased federal regulation, and really look at the long-term decisions that have to be made about American national security, because we have a president today who seems determined to run down the military, to prevent it from getting the equipment it needs, to hamper its leadership, to not do what's necessary to protect us against international terrorism and the proliferation of weapons of mass destruction. Patrick's got the background, having served in the military and even harder line of service in the State Department. He knows the federal bureaucracy inside and out. He knows what waste, fraud, and abuse looks like, and he can be extremely effective not only in the national security bureaucracy, but in the domestic bureaucracy as well, to bring it down to the right size and to make it transparent and accountable to the people. So again, I'm just delighted that he decided to make this sacrifice. It's not easy running for public office, as I'm sure many of you know, but it really is a very noble endeavor, and he is within striking distance of winning this thing. You all have helped enormously by coming out here tonight, and I think we just keep it up for the next 5 weeks, and on election night, we will really be celebrating for Patrick. So thank you very much.